How have the challenges that you face as a co-founder changed?
We didn't even know if people wanted to buy brownies. We had no idea if people would pay, at that time, £3.50 for a slice.
Paz, great to meet you and welcome to the O2 Academy Brixton. We are here today as part of our Scale-Up series, which O2 are working with Enterprise Nation to really try and shine a light on small and scaling businesses like yourselves to understand more about, them as the heartbeat of the UK economy. So first of all, let's start with you and your business as one of the co-founders of Bad Brownie. Tell us about your business and where the idea came from.
Yeah, absolutely. So I set the business up with my co-founder, Morag. She used to be one of my work colleagues, actually. And when we were at work, we used to sit next to each other. And the one thing we loved was food and chocolate. Every time we'd go for some chocolate. So a few years later, when we ended up, having dinner one night and we said, I want to start a company, let's do it together. And it had to be chocolate brownies because that's what we knew we loved. And that was Bad Brownie in 2013. That's when we started. And now what we do is we sell gourmet premium chocolate brownies, loads of different flavours, and sell them in London, sell them all across the country, and basically feed people happiness and joy.
Fantastic. What a great business to be in. So you mentioned you've been going for about 5 years now. How have the challenges that you face as a co-founder changed over that period? From
the beginning, we didn't even know if people wanted to buy brownies. We had no idea if people would pay, at that time, £3.50 for a slice of brownie. They were pretty expensive compared to what you could get, at the supermarket down the road. And from there, we've basically decided, OK, it works in London, but does it work elsewhere? And, we've learned along the way that sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work quite as well as it does in London. We have to change things a little bit. And so tell us a bit about the business model and how you run. So I know you've recently opened up your first store in Canary Wharf, yes. but that's not your only route to market, so... No, when Morag and I started Bad Brownie, our motto, and it still is world domination by brownie. So everything is made in central London. That's our central kitchen. And from there, we ship all over the country on an overnight courier service. So you can order your brownies, if you're hungry, at 2:30 in the afternoon and get it to you by 9 o'clock in the morning the next day, even if you're in Wales or wherever you might be far away from London. Yeah. So that's our online business. And also we sell across lots of markets in London, like really lovely artisan food markets, meant for small companies like us. We have our shop in Canary Wharf. It's very new. It opened only, in September last year, so we've not even had a full year's worth of trading, and that's going really well. We're really excited about it. And also, we sell brownies to other partners who will list it in their stores, in their cafes, and corporate companies who are happy to, use brownies instead of flowers, wine, chocolates, whatever, when they've got birthdays or meetings and things like that.
So that decision to open up your first store in London, talk me through that thought process, how you went about deciding where, when.
It was a long process. We thought very long and hard about it. And to be honest, we looked at a number of sites. It was really tricky for us. So on the face of it, we don't need to cook in the site. It's really easy in that respect. We just need to have brownies to sell, and we need a huge amount of footfall, a huge amount of people passing, so that we can, make the overheads that we're going to have on a site in London. And actually finding the right site was really tricky. We needed something which had a large amount of visibility if we were going to go for a big site in central London. And most of the sites were really kind of thin and narrow, and they didn't have the window display. And then this site came up. It was completely different to what we thought. It wasn't a shop, it wasn't a cafe, it was a very small site in Canary Wharf. And we met with, the head of retail at Canary Wharf, and he was like, I've got this site, do you want it? I think you could do great things there. And, we liked the sound of it, liked the challenge, and here we are.
You mentioned getting your name out there. So how is your approach to marketing your business? Right from, I guess, coming up with a name?
Yeah, absolutely. Bad Brownie, everyone asks. It can mean whatever it means to you. For us, the good brownies are the boring brownies. No one wants to be good, It's like good gremlin and bad gremlin. It's about having something which is more exciting, which is a bit more, a bit more naughty and does something slightly more differently. You can have your lovely brownie with hazelnuts, but we do things like, a bacon and maple syrup brownie or a smoked chocolate and black pepper brownie, something that's completely different. And, our marketing comes from social media. And that's one of the reasons why we really love being at our food markets in London, because that's where the influencers are. That's where the people who, really care about food are. They're really passionate about it. And if we convert them, if we kind of tell them about our brownies, they tell their, 50, 60, 100,000 followers. And, and that's how we've grown. It has really been through social media.
So you mentioned you spend a lot of your time at festivals, at markets. I guess that requires a very flexible workforce and team. So how do you manage that flexibility across your workforce, but then also everything else in terms of the flexibility of a growing business?
Yeah, the absolute trick of running a company, isn't it? Managing that workforce. We're very seasonal. We do. People love our brownies at Christmas, Mother's Day, key gifting occasions, and that's when it's really busy in our kitchen. So we need some more skilled staff. We need people who are able to make more brownies. Morag and I have stopped working in the kitchen now. We've handed it over to people who know much more about baking than we do. My degree was in law, not baking, not cooking. But we need to really expand on that side when it's Christmas time, when it's something about making the production for sending out across the country. But then actually in January and February, people are kind of, they've had their fill of brownies. They don't need to be there anymore. So we have to decrease the workforce to kind of really manage our overheads and make sure we're not having too many fixed costs at any one time. And then summer is festival season. Summer is all about people in the field. So realistically, what we've learned is we need to have key people in our team who we trust, and we trust their judgment. So when we need to hire people for the kitchen, we speak to our head chef. He knows so much more than we do. We say, who do you want? What are you looking for? How skilled do they need to be? And then he does the trials. We meet with them, of course, and then he makes a final decision, and we trust him.
So what role has kind of funding, access to funding, played in the growth of your business? I
mean, it's been critical. We went on Dragon's Den. We got investment from Tuka Suderman, and that's helped us. And that, in fact, is what allowed us to open our site in Canary Wharf. Like I said, it's a small site, but it costs us just as much as a big site, sadly. But without that funding, it would have been tricky, and also managing cash flow in a business which is seasonal is difficult. So funding is important to the growth of a business, and it certainly has been to us, But having said that, we're very proud to say that when we started Bad Brownie, and for the first few years, we were entirely cash funded purely by our profits. We started the business not with very much, just a couple of £1,000s, and then generated profit right from day one, and that helped fuel the growth of the business.
And tell us about that experience of being on Dragon's Den.
Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. And it's exactly how you see it on TV. I thought, there'll be lots of cuts and stuff like that. It really wasn't. You're in a room, they've never seen you before. You're about 2 meters away from, these people you've seen on TV, and they're asking you all these questions. It takes a lot longer than you might think. It was there for an hour and a half. Yeah. And they focus on every element of the business. They are very thorough. It's their money. They may have lots and lots of money, but they are treating each investment as if it's a really important deal to them.
And that leads me on to, you mentioned you've brought in experts, increased your teams. So how has kind of your role and your co-founder's role changed in the business over that time? In the beginning, we were doing everything. We baked the brownies, we drove to the markets, we sold at the markets, we came home, we cleaned up, and we baked again. And now, we don't do that. Now we have drivers, we have a team in the kitchen, but actually what we're doing is managing people. And we're making decisions, to help them grow with their own roles within the company. We're helping them grow. We've had people who've worked across loads of different roles in the company, and that's great, They've started in the markets, they've started, then they've moved on to management of people, and now they're doing sales, for example, or whatever. And, that's what our role encompasses now. It's about mentoring our members of staff, learning how to get the best from them, and allowing them to do the tasks, take the decisions that release us to grow the business and drive the business, and I guess do things that only we can do. And what kind of role has technology played in your business as you've grown? It's critical. Everyone's on a computer the whole time. They're on the computer or their mobile. Everything is in the cloud. So there's nothing saved on the laptop. So if someone's ill, it's fine because anyone can access that. Or if someone needs to work from home, they've had an emergency, we're completely open to that because everything's, already saved in the cloud. They can just log on at home from a completely different laptop or their phone and be able to carry on with their work to pretty much the same as they were if they were in the office. Yeah. So it's critical. Great. And what next for Bad Brownie? Well, we need to see how Canary Wharf's going to go. Our first year there, we've got really exciting plans. We're going to have ice cream there, sundaes, different recipes. We're going to expand our flavours of brownies, expand the products that we're doing. More of the same and more new things, but feeding people brownies, making people happy and continuing on our quest for world domination. Fantastic. Sounds like a great company. It sounds like you're doing tremendously well, and we wish you every success in the future.
Thank you very much. No, it's been great, and yeah, thank you for meeting with me today.